Our today's topic is properties of matter. So, as we know that the properties of matter, they may be physical properties or they may be chemical properties. Now, what are the physical properties? Physical properties are the properties when you go for the for their measurement, then there is no change in the composition of atom or molecule. Like melting point, suppose you have ice that is in solid state, now you are going to convert that into the liquid state, so the formula remains the same because that remains the H2O, right? So that is the physical property. Similar with the boiling point, now you are going to convert this water that is in liquid state into the gaseous state, there is a no change in the composition of matter, so this property is known as physical property. On the other hand, chemical properties like acidity, basicity, suppose we are talking about basicity, so basicity in case of acid, you have to dissolve the acid in water, right? And then it will liberate H plus ion, and we can say its basicity is 1. Then in case of sodium hydroxide, if you are going to dissolve that in water, it will liberate sodium ion and hydroxide ions. There is one hydroxide ion, means this particular base has acidity 1, right? Now how to express the physical quantity? If you are going to write, suppose you went to the market and you purchase some sugar over there, and that is 5.7, right? This 5.7 is not looking good because we are not talking here about a gram, we are not talking about here kg, right? So exact way to express a physical quantity, that is 5.7 kg. Here we have a numerical value and we have a unit. Now we will come to the term unit, right? So unit, initially there were the different units which are used in different countries, but now after that we have a SI system of unit which was adopted universally, and we have according to international system of unit, we have 7 basic units, right? 7 basic units are length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, and amount of substance. And these are the units for these particular properties, right? Like for length it is meter, for mass it is kg, for time it is second, for temperature it is Kelvin, for electric current it is ampere, for luminous intensity it is candela, and amount of substance mole. So these are the basic 7 units. Now another we have derived units. Now derived units can be derived from the basic units. Like we have first quantity we have, that is the density, and you all know that density is mass per unit volume, right? Here volume is, we can say, length into breadth into height, and for length the basic unit is meter, right? So for mass, our basic unit is kg, and the unit is now mass per meter cube. In case of pressure, the formula is force per unit area, and for force we have formula mass into acceleration. Here acceleration has formula velocity into time, and velocity has formula distance upon time, right? So the finally we have formula, that is mass into distance upon time square upon length into breadth, because area has formula length into breadth. So we will write the basic units. Mass, that is a basic unit, it has formula, it has unit kg. Distance has unit meter, and time has unit second. And similarly with the our mass into length, that means area has meter square. So this is the derived unit, because you are deriving the unit for this particular quantity, so these units are known as derived units. After that we have another topic, that is accuracy and precision. ठीक है, तो accuracy, first I want to discuss one situation with you, that we have to take some readings, and you are given with 20.50 mg of iron. We have two students, student A and student B, and student A is taking these values, he took these readings, right? And student B took these readings. Now accurate means true value is this. Now student A is very close to the true values. He took the true values. No doubt there is somehow up down that take place during when we are going to take some readings, but he is very close to the true values. That means he has good accuracy. So that is accuracy, how much accurate you are. As well as he has good precision. How he has good precision? Because there is a difference between the successive readings, that is only plus minus 02, 0.02, right? So he has good precision, his observation is very good. Whereas when we go with student B, he took values, he has these four values. Finally his mean value come out to be 20.52, which is very close to 20.50. That means we can say he is accurate, somehow accurate, but he has poor precision. How he has poor precision? Because he is not taking the values exactly. First 70.5, sorry 0.75, then 0.65, then 0.40, then 0.28. There is no correlation between these values, right? So he has poor precision, but he has good accuracy. So that is the concept of accuracy and precision that is very useful for your practicals. Now another is we have scientific notations. So this is the value for Avogadro's constant, and you all know that it is very difficult to learn this value. So we have to express our result in case of scientific notation. Now what is the scientific notation? We have a number over here and into 10 raised to the power some value, right? Now here we have decimal over here. Now we have to bring the decimal after the first digit. We have to bring the decimal after the first digit. Now how many places it move? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23. That means it moved 23 places and it moves towards the left. So that's why this n is positive, right? Now the value comes out to be 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. And if this decimal moves toward the right, then this n will be negative, right? So when this decimal moves toward the left, then n will be positive, and when if it moves toward right, then n will be negative. Now next we have scientific figures. What are the significant figures? What are the significant figures? It is all the certain digits plus one doubtful digit. Now suppose we have a value over here. This is the value. We have to count the number of significant figures. So count the number of digits. 1 2 3 4. It has 4 significant figures. If a 0 comes between the numerical values, numerical digits, then it also becomes significant, right? So it has significant figures 3. But when we come on this value, that is 0.0052, now here we have only 2 significant figures, because the zeros which are before the digits, they are not counted to be significant. Here we have 1 2 3, because this 0 is not significant, right? But if the 0 is after the digit, then it will become significant. 1 2 3 4 5. Here significant figures are 5, right? After that we have laws of chemical combination, because our elements combine to form the compounds. Now why these elements combine? So we have certain laws that are known as laws of chemical combination. So first law we have, that is the law of conservation of mass. According to this law, the mass of the reactant must be equal to the mass of the product. If you have 10 gram reactant, then product must be 10 gram, right? So that is the law of conservation of mass. Suppose we have H2 that is reacting with O2, it will form H2O, right? Here we have mass of product that is 34 gram. So our product should be 34 gram. Here we have product that is only 16, that is only 18 gram. So we have to make it 34, right? So that is the law of conservation of mass. Next is law of constant composition. Now law of constant composition, suppose we have a gas carbon dioxide. Here carbon has mass 12 and oxygen has mass 32. So if you are going to simplify it, then it will become 3:8. So when you will take carbon and oxygen in the ratio of 3:8 by mass, then it will form carbon dioxide. If the amount of oxygen is less, then it will not form carbon dioxide, but it will form carbon monoxide. Now next is law of multiple proportion. When we have two elements, they can combine to form more than two compounds. like we have H and O. These are the two atoms. They can form water, they can form hydrogen peroxide. Here mass of hydrogen in water is 2, mass of hydrogen in hydrogen peroxide is also 2. Here the mass of oxygen is 16 and here the mass of oxygen is 32. We are going to fix the mass of hydrogen. Suppose this mass is fixed. Now how many parts of oxygen combining with 2 gram of hydrogen? They are again 16. And here how many parts of oxygen combined with 2 gram of hydrogen? They are 32. If you are going to take their ratio, that comes out to be simplest whole number ratio, and it comes out to be 1:2. So that is the law of multiple proportion, means two elements can combine together to form more than one compound. ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर दो एलिमेंट्स मिलते हैं तो वो मिलके वाटर ही बनाते हैं. दे कैन फॉर्म मोर देन वन कंपाउंड, एक से ज़्यादा कंपाउंड भी बना सकते हैं, राइट. After that we have law of reciprocal proportion. According to law of reciprocal proportion, we have three elements: sulfur, hydrogen and oxygen. Sulfur and hydrogen can form hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen and oxygen can form water, and sulfur and oxygen can form sulfur dioxide. First we will take these two, hydrogen sulfide and water. Here the mass of hydrogen is 2 and mass of sulfur is 32. Here the mass of hydrogen is 2 and mass of oxygen is 60. We are going to fix this mass. If you are going to take their ratio, sulfur and oxygen, it comes out to be 2:1. Now in case of sulfur dioxide, we will take the ratio of mass of sulfur and oxygen, then ratio comes out to be 1:1. And if we are going to compare these two ratios, then they are the multiple of each other. That means it comes out to be same, 2:1. And it is the simplest whole number ratio. So that is known as law of reciprocal proportion. Now according to last law, that is Gay-Lussac law, when our gases combine by in case of volume, like we have one volume of hydrogen, we have one volume of chlorine, then they will form two volume of hydrochloric acid. And if you are going to take the ratio of all the reactants and products, the ratio is simplest, that is 1:2. If you are going to double it, suppose you have 2 volumes of hydrogen, you have 2 volumes of chlorine, then you will get 4 volume of HCl. Again ratio is simple, that comes out to be same, that was initial ratio, right. So these, when gases combine at a particular temperature in a fixed volume, right, they are going to follow a simplest whole number ratio.